What is up, you guys? It's the Fallout What If here, and today I'm going to be doing what if Deku, or no, what if Ruby went into the freaking My Hero Academia universe, or what if Ruby, a lot of, some of the Ruby people and some of the, like, what if the Ruby universe, how you say, some of the Ruby universe and some of the, how you say, some, sheesh. Okay, what if some of the, what if a bit of the Ruby universe went into the My Hero Academia universe? So now let us begin. And yeah, pretty much, I'm going to try to do a couple of things here. Heroes and villains are still a thing, and now there's a new thing. Hunters. Hunters are there to kill bad guys when villains, when heroes can't do it. Basically, they're more of a military type thing, but not really in the very end. The government made it so that way people can try to, how you say it, get, go by on a, how you say it, what is the thing called? Kill villains for a living. And yeah, that's how we're gonna base this story on. Now here's the thing. Villains don't care about either one of them. They'll still kill them both. Hunters think that heroes are sometimes weak due to the fact that they don't kill them, because you know the whole thing. Killers kill people and families, and if we just let them off on the streets again with like, how you say it, 10 years, or I don't know, let's just say they do crime for and then they go to jail for 10 years. In the next 10 years, they're probably going to scheme and do some other things. Hunters stop them, and they stop them good. They kill them because it's necessary, due to the fact that if they just let them off on the hook, they'll probably do something like this again. Now, Deku is going to be a hunter and a hero. The first ever hunter and hero. Now, you know what? Screw it. Deku's going to be a hunter. I thought about it, but he's going to try to at least be both. Him wanting to be a hero like All Might, but him wanting to be a hunter like a certain someone. And no, it's not Ruby, due to the fact these two are going to have a weird childhood. So, here's the thing. Deku, how you say it, lives in an orphanage due to Inko not being there for, her just not, how you say it, her just be, you know what, she's dead, alright, she's dead. Somebody shot her freaking head off. Yeah. What's called, that happened, and Deku was called fainted. Him going to the police, or him, or the police taking him to an orphanage, him living most of his life there, or some of his life, due to the fact that he goes to the park from time to time, and he meets a few people. Yeah. These two people are Ruby Rose and Yang Xiao Long. That is a freaking hard word to say, but I'll try my best, you know. So, Deku says hi to the both of them, and they say hi back. Now, how you say it, Ruby is going to have a quirk, and so is Xiao Yang. Now, these quirks are basically kind of like what they are right now. Ruby is going to have a kind of, the kind of quirk where petals come off of her, or how you say it, her body can produce flowers or rose petals, and also her, how you say it, if she goes a bit fast, her body can be mostly like red looking, or red, her body can look red, and her aura can look red. So yeah, it's not like a freaking, how you say it, like a lightning quirk or anything like that. But she just basically has a bit more speed. Not only that, she has flower petals that can come off of her body. And not only that, her aura is kind of red. So, yeah. Yang's quirk is basically her having a bit of an enhancement type quirk and a kind of a speed quirk due to how you say it, her quirk being like her powers in the freaking anime. So hers is basically an enhancement type quirk, which she's already strong, but the more pain or the more hits she takes, the more stronger she gets. So it's not like I'm giving her a freaking, what's it called? Fire quirk or something like that. No. But these two want to be hunters like Uncle Crow. And his quirk is kind of the same way as freaking Ruby's, but with crow feathers. So, he spends time with both of them. And yeah, pretty much that's it on that the freaking explanation. But here's the thing: for the past what's called couple of months, they've been hanging out, being the best of friends, besties. But I also wanted there to be another person that Deku might want to go out with. One of them probably just being Weiss. And yeah, Deku would be like the poor kid, but being the one who does everything he can. And how you say it, freaking Weiss being the little rich girl who sometimes has an attitude. And yeah, Blake will be here as well. But here's the thing, Blake isn't as super depressed, because basically quirk people and faunas are basically the same. It's just they call theirs is a transformation type quirk, or how you say it, a mutation quirk. So the faunas won't be a thing. It's just basically quirk people in their eyes. Not only that, the white fang doesn't exist, due to the whole freaking thing of the faunas aren't being mistreated. But here's the thing, I didn't see the rest of all the Ruby episodes or the 7. I only saw 1 and 2. But here's the thing, I want you to comment down below: R for Ruby, W for how you say it, W for Weiss. Or you guys can pick both. Now, the people, like I said, if you guys pick Ruby, that's fine. If you pick Weiss, that's fine. If you pick both, that's fine. But if you didn't pick at all, you don't complain, alright? That's my policy right there. So anyway, how he meets, they basically hang out and they're besties. Ruby being the big sister for him, and Yang being the big sister for him, and Ruby is the same age as freaking Deku. They're basically, besties, and he looks up to her as a big sis. Or at least he looks up to Yang as a big sis. But the sad thing is, Deku has been most of the times picked on in school and in, the orphanage. Deku has just been like that ever since he was a kid. It's sad, but yeah, it still has to go on. But here's the thing. Deku is wanting to be, stronger. He tries to do a little bit of training, but it doesn't actually go as well, due to the fact that even if he does a little bit of training, he still gets beaten up. They're kind of like, oh yeah, cool, you actually got a little stronger. But yeah. And basically, Deku gets kicked out of the orphanage due to the fact that people have been saying it was him that caused the fights, and because he's quirkless, he's throwing a temper tantrum. Deku tried to deny this due to the fact that, that wasn't true. So basically what happens is Deku is kicked out in wintertime. Not only that, it's a blizzard. Deku is cold. Him wanting to see Ruby and Yang. Him feeling like he's going to die. Saying that he wants to just see them one last time. Due to the fact they were the only ones who were mostly nice to him. Now, there has been a time when Weiss has been there as well. And it's only 3 times. Deku pushing her out of the way because of a car. The car swerving and almost hitting the tree. Basically, Deku runs away. And Weiss running to him, thanking him. And yeah, she's not actually, like, how you say it, a nice princess here. She's actually still a little child. And she wouldn't be snotty, well, she wouldn't be, how you say it, what's the term? She won't be stuck up as her teenage self until she reaches teenager years. But Deku being the one to actually help her and risking his life for her, she would see that as a merit and says thank you. And they've met 2 other times, just like her wanting to hang out with him those other times. But the 3rd time was basically the last one due to Weiss saying she has to go with her family to a different country. Deku saying, okay, but will we still be friends? Weiss saying, of course we will be friends. Don't worry, I'll be back soon. Deku feeling happy about that and saying, I'll see you next time. Basically, yeah. He's saying he just wants to see those 3. And hopefully one day, that will be true. Him just passing out. But he gets picked up by Crow. Due to the fact that Ruby saw him in the freaking ground. And Yang seeing this as well. Running to the freaking, running to, what's that thing called? Running to Uncle Crow. And yeah, this is where the story now begins. Uncle Crow takes care of him and nurses him back to health. And trains him a bit due to the fact him asking Uncle Crow for training. Because he tells Uncle Crow that he's tired of being weak and he wants a master to teach him. But here's what's going to happen. Deku wants to learn how to be, stronger. And Uncle Crow tells him, well, you could be a hero, but they usually require you to have a quirk. Otherwise, they'll think of you as dead weight. But on the bright side, there's the huntsman, the huntsman society. No, yeah, I'll just keep saying the Hunter Society would probably want somebody like you. They don't mind quirkless people. As long as they train and learn how to use weapons, they're pretty much okay. They're accepted here. Deku being happy and says he wants to learn at least how to be a huntsman. And this is when Deku is trained by Crow. Him putting Deku into rigorous training, but him also being told to go to school. Due to him wanting for Deku to be smart still. Deku does accept this, and he does much more better academically than his previous counterpart. Due to Crow teaching him, but him teaching him slowly. He's not putting this all in 10 months. Because you see, Deku is being trained for 4 days every week because he wants Deku to rest. The thing with All Might is he's being trained every day. him not having any time for actual rest, him putting him through rigorous training, which makes him much more weaker. Even though he gained strength, he's still weak. Deku, how you say it, being trained, he actually gains a bit more muscle, how you say it, over, how you say it, elementary, and also freaking middle school. But he still wears a jacket to make sure he looks smaller, and yeah, pretty much like that. So, Deku was always still look like the weakling, but him not actually always trying to show his strength. People never see nothing changed within Deku, but when they try to hurt him, Deku just takes it. Ruby and freaking, well, Yang is in high school right now, or not in high school. She's still in middle school, but like 2 years, 2 years higher. And what's called Deku was like, it's all right, Ruby. I'm okay with this. And the person who's bullying him is Bakugo. Yang getting mad, and Deku says, please stop. Ruby, I said, Yang wanting to know why. Deku says, look, we'll talk in the house, alright? Just please, don't worry, they're my friends. Her saying, all right, but you know you can come for me. You can come to me for this kind of stuff, right? And Ruby says, yeah. And basically, Deku says, okay, don't worry, I'll tell you, I'll be okay. So that happens. Deku says, after school, tells them the real reason why. He doesn't want people to know that he's been training, because now people will try to like do more things to him, and some people will probably think that he's trying to be a hunter due to the fact people know he's quirkless, and some of them want to be a hero. Well, who's going to bully how you say, huntsman than a hero? Well, not all heroes. Well, Bakugo wanting to be the hero and looking at hunts. Bakugo wants to be a hero. And if he ever finds out that Deku is going to be a huntsman, he's pretty much going to beat him up, and how you say, even harder, due to the fact that he would always see Deku as a villain, because, how you say it, like I said before, they're kind of similar in ways, but they're different. So, yeah. Deku is still training, and he's been learning how to use the Harvester. Now, what do you mean? I thought it was known as the Harbinger. Well, as far as I know, that's what the scythe was called, as far as I remember. But here's the thing: he's not going to just learn that. No. This is not. Deku is not just simple. Or Deku isn't just using being simple. He's going to learn how to use Yang's freaking weapons. Not only that, he's going to learn how to use a different kind of weapon. Well, the same weapon like Yang, the same weapon, but instead of on the gauntlets, he's going to learn how to use it in his feet. Because Deku is kind of like the same Deku from in canon. Him wanting to use all his body parts, because if he loses his scythe, or how you say it's knocked out, or it's a bit too big for big for crowded places, he's going to use his weapons that can basically save those people. It's basically extended, or how you say it, the gauntlets are perfect for close combat, and the scythe is basically good for ranged combat. Him knowing that, he can actually work around with this. Not only that, Ruby learns, how you say it, the Harvester, and Yang still learns the freaking gauntlets. Both of them mastering, or how you say it, both learning it from freaking Crow, or at least I don't know if he taught Yang how to use the gauntlets. Let's just say he did, for simplistic sake. And yeah, that's what happens. So, Deku is training with Crow, and Crow says that, Deku, you have a lot of talent. I never actually saw this in a lot of people, not even in Ruby or Yang. Give me 2 seconds here. Ha! It was that H2. Ha ho! But anyway, that's what happens. Deku saying, oh, how you say it? Crow wanted to ask him, why does he want to use 3 kinds of weapons instead of 1? And he gives his explanation. Crow saying, well, yeah, sometimes you just have to rely on your 1 weapon, but that's kind of smart thinking, Deku. And yeah, pretty much him teaching him all he knows about the other 2 weapons, but teaching him most of the times than not his harvester, or as he calls it, the harbinger. Deku calls it the harvester. Not only that, he calls his gauntlets Betty and Sally, due to the fact that I just like Black Ops, and I always wanted those what's called the 2 gauntlets to be called that. Not only that, he's just gonna call his how you say, his the foot version of the gauntlets. Basically, he's just gonna call them foot supports. Yeah, I didn't know what to call those 2 his footwear, but yeah, that would actually kind of work. That's okay. Okay. Now Deku is I said well, let's just say it's the end of the 8 years, or the 8th grade here. It's Ruby and Deku in a class. And basically, Deku is there, how you say it, with Ruby, talking about, so did you apply for the academy? Or, how you say it, did you apply for UA? Because, like I said before, if I didn't say this once, I'm going to say it again. The schools are going to be colliding with each other. The Huntsman Academy and UA, or UA Academy or UA High School, basically having 2 principals, Principal freaking Nezu and Principal Opsman or Professor Ospin. Both of them are smart people who, well, I think one drinks coffee and one eats nuts and berries. So yeah, I don't know too much on Dr. Ospin's abilities, but let's say due to him being a smart man, him having a kind of thing where he can judge what the person's going to make in 3 seconds or up to 10 seconds. Kind of like having Midnight's power, but him just using it more of a combat thing instead of a prediction thing. So, Deku gets into UA, or he's accepted. Bakugo trying to bully him, but Ruby saying, you're not going to bully him any longer, pulling out the scythe and says, if you hurt him again while we're in high school, I'm going to cut you down. Because Ruby is much more protective of Deku, because she likes him. And, how you say it, there's actually a person who likes him as well, which is Weiss. And I understand why would I say it, what's called the Snow Prince or the Ice Princess like Deku. I already explained it, and plus, she actually has some good merits to her, but it's sometimes because of her attitude, she can't automatically just say, I love you. She has to say, well, you did nice, alright? That's pretty much her thing. So, Deku, how you say it, or her thinking about Deku at times, or most likely the boy who saved her. And yeah. Now, this would give her drive to be a huntsman who can actually protect those. Because in a life and death situation, she's going to try to protect those. Now, anyway, the sludge villain thing happens differently. Deku has his gauntlets on and his freaking what's those things called? His foot supports, but none of them see him as like weapons. They look at them as his regular shoes, but with a little more metal on it, and basically bracelets that are a little too big. But when he activates them, it's basically like this: Transformers, robots in disguise. Oh man, good move indeed, Fallout. But anyway, Deku using his gauntlets and his what's called footwear to basically shoot the freaking robots, or not the robots, shooting the freaking sludge villain, basically making it more of a, instead of physical, it's going to be pressured air like All Might's punches. So yeah, it hurts the sludge a little bit, but this is when Deku shoots for the eyes and basically shoots off pieces a little by little. This is when the sludge villain finds out that he can't actually move a lot due to him being so tiny. Deku trapping him in the freaking how do you say it? In the freaking container or in the bottle. But yeah. So this is when Deku just talks to him, and that's pretty much it. I mean, not talks to him. This is when All Might talks to him and says, young man, you have did well. And All Might understands how you say it, he understands how, what hunters are, and he doesn't actually hate them. He just hopes that they can not kill unnecessarily, because he actually almost killed freaking All For One, him wanting to kill All For One, because, yeah, what he did. So he would understand why what's called hunters are made. Well, he will understand, he will understand why hunters were made, and he wouldn't actually have any qualms about them. Deku actually feeling this pride due to the fact All Might thanked him, and yeah, nothing bad actually happens. What's called hunters can actually be of the age, let's say, of a good 14 to 15. Deku not actually passing the hunter thing, but him being allowed to have a weapon. Now, that's pretty much it right there. The 10-month thing is being basically trained by freaking Crow. Weiss is going to be in the scene next. But like I said, if you guys want 1 and 1 or both, actually. So yeah, like I said, R for Ruby, Weiss for, W for Weiss, and RW or WR for Weiss and Ruby, or Ruby and Weiss. So yeah, pretty much I'm going to leave it off here. Like, comment, and do subscribe to the channel. And as always, oh yeah, and thank you Last of Us 21 for saying that little speech of yours. It actually made me happy. So yeah, shout out to you. But anyway, bye.